Hi everyone, today I'm super excited to do this video because I want to talk about portable painter. I have been looking for a nice portable palette because, as you know, I want to start doing painting and illustration and urban sketching outdoors once the weather permits to do that. And I have looked at a few palettes and I set my mind on this palette purely because I love the way it looks, and having seen a lot of reviews, it seemed like a palette that would be perfect for my use. So I contacted Steve Padden, who's the designer of this palette, and he was kind enough to send me this palette to share it with you, and I hope that I will give you a good understanding of how this palette works if you're not familiar with it yet. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the box that it comes in, because I know some of you like to see the packaging as well. So on the front pictures you can see the size of the palette is compared to a phone, which we will do in a mere moment. And then you get the look of the open palette, what it looks like, and then over here you've got the information. It's a hands-free watercolor palette with 2 detachable water containers, 2 wide folding palette plates, 12 half pans, unique double brush and aluminium clasp. And then on this side you get an idea of the size again, of how portable it is, and how you can either sit it on your tie or you can sit it on anywhere else and pretty much be really comfortable to paint with it. So this palette has been updated since the original, and now it has that elastic rubber band, which you will see in a minute, and I will explain what it is for. So let's go ahead and open the box. So once you open the box and you reveal the palette, this is what it looks like. Now let's compare it to a phone size. So here is my iPhone, and I'll show you from the side. So it is a really good size if you think about it, and the then you also get this little leaflet which briefly explains to you how to use it if you are not familiar with it. But let's go ahead and I'll show you. So this rubber band has been an update because a lot of people from the original palette were saying how they were scared to lose this aluminium clip, because it holds the 2 containers together, and once you lose it, as you can see, the containers don't hold themselves, so it's important to not lose this. And so Steve came up with the idea of this rubber band, which if you stretch it like so, you can just make it sit on top, and what you can do then is put it on top of the container, which I'll show you in a second. So here we go. So this is what it looks like. Then you just open up, you slide off the containers. So this is 2 containers for water, which is great because you want to have in perfect circumstances, you want to have 2 water containers, one for cleaning your brush and the other one keeping as completely clean water to add to your paints, so that you don't make your paints dirty. Now here is the actual palette, and I love the feel of it. It actually is smaller than what it comes across on the videos which I've seen before. So again, I'll show you as a comparison next to the phone, and you can see, let me just zoom out a little bit. So here it is without the containers, and you see how neat it is. And in terms of thickness, that is the thickness of the palette. It feels really good in your hand. I like the plastic, I like the design of it. So then you flip open these two palette plates and you get separate areas here, which I guess potentially you could squeeze out some paint and let it dry and have extra paint, because they have nice walls here which are nice and high, so you can nice and tall, so that you can if you want add perhaps some extra paints or just use these areas for mixing. But because they're quite small, I'd imagine that mixing, personally I prefer bigger areas to mix, so I would use this area for mixing and this for maybe extra colors if I desire to do that. But it's completely up to you. I mean, this area is great for mixing, it's big enough, and so are these, but here I feel like my brush would get caught. But again, this is just personal preference. Now the other amazing thing with this palette is that you get a synthetic brush, and you get actually two. So here is one, and then you pull out the second one from the bottom like so, and you stick it to the other end if you want a more detailed brush. Now, having compared them to my sizes, let me just pull them up. So this is a size 1, and then I have a size 3, and this brush is right in the middle, so it has to be a size 2, I would say. I couldn't see information on the website, but it looks to me like a size 2, and it has a lovely point. And then this size must be, so if I pull up a 5 and I've got a 3 next to me, so it's sort of in the middle of those two, which is a 3 and a 5. So again, looking at that, I would assume it's a 4. So it looks like you have a size 2 and a size 4, which is again great for detailing. And it's great that it folds into such a neat brush, and also that it elongates as well, because if you prefer, I mean, it's quite difficult to paint with a very short brush, so once you elongate it, you can comfortably rest it on this part of your hand, which makes it nice and comfortable to hold. And you have this compartment here which you can possibly find the right sizes of other brushes to use if you prefer, so you can store them here. Now let's talk about the inserts of these palettes. Now I've seen some in some other reviews that people showed their palettes, their portable painter, where the pans were not adhered. Mine are. Yes, so I just, I went back. With a pair of scissors it works a little bit better, just because it has a better grip. So I've got mine adhered, so these are sort of double-sided little stickers, and I think a lot of people were saying in the previous palettes that the pans were not stuck, so I'll show you an example. And they were making a lot of noise like this, and they kind of were just coming out, and so now I guess they're adhered like this, but they're completely removable, so it's not like the pans stick there forever and you can't do anything about them. You can remove them. And Steve also told me that it should be soon available, that you also have the option to buy the extra half pans when you buy the painter, and you get this little strip of little stickers that you can use for those as well. So that's great if you want to have a few colors available and you want to change out your palette. For example, if you want to do botanical illustration on one day, or you want to do urban sketching on the other, so it means botanical you would need more of the pinks and the blues, and so you can and yellows, so that you can mix the right colors for the flowers and things like that. And then for the urban sketching you need more of the neutrals like siennas and all of that, so you could have the option of changing the colors if you wanted to. So now let's have a look at these compartments, the water containers right here. So you get these bits sticking out, and what you do is, you can see this part on the side here. So what you do is you just slide it, you find this bit here and you place it on top, and you just slide it like that right in the middle, and that's one in. And then you do the same thing over here, like so. Oh yeah, just before I continue with the containers, I wanted to also to tell you, just in case you're interested, so these half pans are modeled on the Winsor & Newton half pan size because they're quite tiny. So for example, I don't have them to show you, but the only half pans that I do have are either Schminke or the empty ones, which I bought separately on Jackson's Art, and both of them are too big. So the only ones that would fit in if you wanted to buy a half pan already filled with paint, it would have to be Winsor & Newton. Otherwise you have this wide flexibility of use whatever paints you want, squeezing them out of tubes into your little pans, and then obviously creating a completely custom-made color palette for yourself, which is what a lot of artists do. But if you're not familiar or you're not comfortable with you know, filling up the pans, which is actually quite easy, you could go and buy a ready-made half pan, but it would have to be Winsor & Newton. So I hope that makes sense. So let's carry on with the water containers. So as you can see, there are these sort of cutout wells, and that is to put the brush in if you wanted. For example, I'm going to demonstrate it with the brush that comes. So you can place your brush like that if you wish, just on top. So let me show you. So this is what I mean. So you place it like so, and it stays nicely. So you've got the same option on this side if you wanted to do that. Otherwise, what you can do also is, as you remember, this elastic band, so you stick it onto the container like so, and this way not only is your clasp nice and safe and it's not going to get lost, but you then also have an option to, say for example, add a few. I'm just going to remove the clasp, because if you want to do that, you would need to have the clasp on the other side, if that makes sense, so it doesn't interfere with the with this situation that I'm trying to demonstrate. So if you wanted to have a few pens and pencils, you can attach them like so and keep them here. And like I said, the idea is that you sit it on top of your leg and you can paint freely, or you can put it anywhere you want, next to you or on the grass, on the bench, wherever you decide to go and paint. So I'm really excited about this palette, and thank you, Steve, for sending it to me, because I feel like it will make it a lot more easier and achievable for me to enjoy the spring season and all the lovely flowers that come with it, and the blossoming of the trees and whatnot, and that I can enjoy. Oh my gosh, it started pouring down here with rain. Yes, so what I'm planning to do is I'm currently working on putting together my 12 favorite colors, and it would be from different brands, so it's not going to be from one brand, and I'm going to fill them up all from tubes. And then once that's done, I'm going to show you once again what it looks like, and I will also demonstrate you know, the use of this palette as well. So thanks so much for watching, and see you soon.